someone tell me why prop firms is probably the only place in the world where you can literally make six figures a week and still feel like you're failing? I think that should be the headline of this week's video and just in general on my journey for trading prop firms. So, hello, my name is Jenny Baker, six-figure trading coach, and I'm going to be going over kind of what we did this week, didn't trade too much, our performance, and really in this video, I want to talk about the top 5 or 6 things that I'm really realizing in terms of my prop firm trading journey. So, for those of you guys who don't know, I'm on a mission to withdraw 7 figures in 2026. I think 7 is on the table. 6 is easy. 7 is still the one that's kind of, can I do it? Is it possible? What about all the if, this, and that, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see. I'm giving it my due diligence. I'm a great trader, but in different avenues, copy trading, and all the other elements that kind of go in to this, the multiple hundreds of % you must perform in order to get the $1,000 payout, right? It's a process, as we all know. So, I guess title of the video, if we could say, why is trading prop firms like you're failing even when you're not? I know that's not the title, but we did. We made 75,000. Did not trade too much this week in general. I know it doesn't look like that, but overall, like the amount of trades and the amount I was on the church, not very much at all. This was obviously an easy trade because of the Sunday gap. We'll go over that. Monday was a quick one and done. This actually was 2 sets of trades. One was a loser, one was not, kind of hedging and not hedging, but the trailing in and out, kind of that's why it looks like 64%. Tuesday, not much to report. I will kind of go over those trades that we took Wednesday. I obviously Tradeovate had their kind of down day. I had no class that day because I'm doing this wellness protocol this week and I've just been out of it. It hasn't been the week for trading really. So coming to Thursday was a perfectly clean, smooth, like this is the day you want to have every day. Notice how it's not 40,000. It's the average 10 to 15,000. That's kind of what I feel like at the level of capital I'm trading, this is where I find peace. This is where I know I wasn't doing degenerate behavior. This is kind of the best case. Obviously, it's nice to catch these runners when they do appear, but targeting this, I think, is a fool's errand most of the time. So this is kind of what I'm hoping to average on most days, most cases. So we'll see. And then today, I got hit with an API limit that will have cost me quite a few accounts. I'm going to see, I started reporting a video for Apex particularly, saying, hey, look, here's my Apex, can't log in. This is what TradeSyncer looks like. Tried to log into NinjaTrader, can't close, can't do anything. I was up a lot. So I will have lost those accounts with, $6,000 to $8,000 worth of equity. And those were PA accounts that I'm worried about. So we'll see if the video helps or not. If not, I still have 8 or 9 different funded accounts with them. We'll have to start fresh with a couple others. But let's go take a look at the charts and talk about some of the aha moments. Plan on next week seeing a video of our January in review where I'm going to be going over all 18 payouts I got this month from over 7 different firms and talking what that actually looks like, right? I'm just on this journey. I'm on this journey really for me and sharing it with you. So I don't know how I feel about it yet. I still think dollar for dollar, if you can accomplish great results, even mediocre to positive results, you're probably better off trading your own capital. The only difference is prop firms allow you to trade like a degenerate. Like if we think about it at the end of the day, prop firms allow you to out-risk, outsize for the sake of these daily rules and consistency to get this elusive payout because it only costs $100 to make $1,000. I get it, but I think the psychology that goes into it is, it's a mess. My focus this week has been on remembering I am a trader first, happen to be driving in a prop firm vehicle. And the more I can kind of convince myself of that, I think the better for performance I'm going to have. I'm not talking about P&L. That's going to vary quite greatly given the copying, given the criteria that I'm using, given all the different circumstances. Sure, the P&L might vary, but I want to remember my job is to be a trader, and that is kind of the main thing. So Tuesday, here we go. Here's what we're looking for. We already know Sunday, baby. Sunday had this huge move down. It was a perfect buy up. I mean, come on now, that was easy money in the bank. Come Monday was an easy buy too, taking liquidity. Tuesday was a bit trickier for me because I was looking for a bit more of a sell down after all that buying pressure, right? We bought Monday and Sunday. Was looking for a bit more of a retracement than we ended up getting. This is a 5-minute time frame. We did get 957s. I mean, close to 50 points, just less than, 42, 48, whatever that is, points. Still not enough though, really. So this was kind of a mess. I had scaled out a part of my position and the rest of it hit stop loss. So that's kind of that thing I was telling you about on TradeZella, kind of where that accuracy comes from. Tuesday, we took a buy and took another buy. These were very easy buys. This one was clean, but we bought here, kind of using our JGS strategy. Of course, we had This was a halfway back that we were looking at. This was a 50% retracement, or what we call an area of interest in our community, right? Everyone has all these fancy names, but really, I don't care how you're finding your areas of interest, whether that's trend line touches, whether that's Fibonacci, whether that's quarter points or pivot points, point of control, all those levels. To me, if I treat them all like, hey, this is an area I'm interested in a reaction at, right? I'm interested in kind of pushing through or reacting at, then I know how to trade around these areas. So that was kind of perfect. When we started to bounce back up past it, this was an easy 75-point move. This one did not get held as long as we could have, but from where we entered at the 51s, I mean, obviously this continued throughout the rest of the day, was another 50-point trade, but we did not kind of hold that long. We just got that first little pump up, 40-ish points, and then we were done. So that was our Tuesday trade performance. Wednesday, again, I canceled my call, and Tradeovate was like, hey, Jenny's not coming, so we're shutting down. No, I'm joking. But either way, Tradeovate was down, so I did not have a call. I did not take any of these trades in here. It is what it is. I would have been looking for a sell, so that morning I was answering messages, looking for the sell, but the market wasn't marketing, and we didn't have the tech. So now we get to see what that feels like, all the copy stuff. Thursday was a beautiful, perfect, amazing, like this is the day we ask for. Follows all rules for orb. It follows all rules if you're using any kind of a moving average, any kind of breakout, any kind of momentum trading, any kind of trend following. This was an easy day. Now, granted, it's hard to keep getting short, but there were little retests. There were little flags. Granted, this is a 5-minute time frame, but we had one entry here, 100 points, another entry here, 100 points. This was using a candle formation strategy that we have. It's really just an inside candle. I don't know if I'm still going to paint how many we have back, but there you go. So kind of using a multitude of different systems and setups there. But again, another 100 points, and this was a total of 300 points. I only wrote it for the first 100 or so. We were looking for it to get a reaction at this level. And it's really, really impressive to see what price does, like what my analysis is doing. And I think that's one of the things I'm realizing this week, just kind of, again, sharing my journey with you. The thing I'm most excited about is the analysis, right? I know the execution, the copy trading, the rules that I'm bouncing around, just the plethora of different things that are kind of difficult. When we put all that aside and I look at the analysis, I'm like, wow, okay, I see this. That's beautiful. And that's what I miss about swing trading. That's what I miss about my position trading that I did for the vast majority of my trading career, right? It isn't that I was always right. And that kind of plays into your ego and your psychology, because you do it. It's easy to think that, but I don't think that's what it was. I miss trusting the analysis to be able to say, hey, I see the move when I'm right and wrong. And yes, you're going to be wrong. If you have an 80% win rate, you have to assume 25% of those trades are going to lose at any given time. And that doesn't make it a bad strategy, right? It makes it part of your strategy. Figure most people have a 65% win rate. You got to plan on losing 60 to 35% of the time, guys. That's a lot of percent. Which means, yes, you can have many days back to back of losing, and it hurts. And it sucks, and it blows accounts if you're trading prop firms. But if you can learn to kind of size down and do all things to do, you can hopefully avoid that a little bit. But back to the analysis, I have been so excited about just being able to see the move, the overall move. So not to say I'm right 100%, but definitely in the 80s and 90s. And typically, the level of rightness has more to do with the big picture than the immediate 2-5 candles, So that still is an area that I can definitely work on. So we got our huge reaction there. We stalled for pretty much all of New York. This is coming in a power hour right here. Power hour is here. First, we had earnings reports, popped up a little bit, not too far, came right back into our zone, our area of interest, popped back up. Once we broke through it, we retested back to it. And of course, we already know the rest is history, right? So coming to Friday, we've got more of a sell down. And this was kind of an easy sell day. It chopped all day, so any kind of automation would have been suffering, would have been a pain in the butt. But again, you're not looking for every day. If I could just tell people to get over themselves and stop talking and acting like a child trying to compare every single tick for tick and point for point to be exact, I think it just sounds ridiculous. Like it sounds like just ridiculous. I don't have a nicer word than ridiculous, so I'm going to stick with that one. Stop comparing, which is probably my next one, right? I think as traders, keep going on YouTube, keep comparing somebody else in whatever group form you're in and trying to get this exact result, right? It's never going to happen. Trade the way you're supposed to be trading. Take your green and your red, wherever it falls. And sometimes it'll be green when someone's red. Sometimes it'll be red when someone's green. That is part of the journey. But you're on your journey. You just happen to have other people walking next to you on this journey. That's it, right? If we can just stop comparing, trying to be exact by every little thing, I think people would find so much more peace and happiness in trading. So that's my next thing. And kind of leading into that, it was Flash Crash week. So let's talk about it. I mean, I don't necessarily classify it as that, but I mean, depending on how you look at things, I mean, if the shoe fits, right? So I'm going to hide all. I'm going to look at the 4-hour time frame. We had some major falls if we really look at it. So in total, the total move to the downside, 26,000 to 25,000. That's nearly 1,000-point move to the downside. That's huge. If we look at gold and the metals, we just had a crazy volume week. We know the US dollar did the things. This was huge. This was also equally huge. Holy moly. It is a lot of points to the downside. We know we had a lot of volatility in the market this week. So obviously a lot of people, I think somebody had posted or I read somewhere that there's some odd $1 trillion just erased from the market, right? And somebody else decided to chime in and say, yeah, but that means somebody else made it. Yes and no, right? Not us, so it doesn't matter. Weeks like this are going to happen. We have to be able to size appropriately for them. We have to be able to know that when we're picking our size, we're not just sizing for the day-to-day. This is the 4-hour time frame, the moves that you think you're going to get on Tuesday and Wednesday and whatever. We got to size knowing that this very thing can happen at any given time. And this was, astronomical. This was unprecedented in all regards. I mean, if you look at the metals, if you look at crypto, gosh, we stopped looking at it. Crypto is a mess. 80,000. 84 for y'all long-term buyers. Good time to buy. But we already know. So with that said, the couple of the things that I would think are worth mentioning this week are Apex. I really should have it pulled up. I will post it in this video or have the video editor kind of post it. Couple things. First off, they take forever. They approve the payout, but yes, it takes like weeks to get that money, just so we're all on the same page. Having said that, they're hard. They're a pain in the butt. I'm not going to lie. They're slowly but surely becoming my favorite firm. They're just a no-nonsense firm. And if you're a no-nonsense person, and granted, it's hard to get on that level. It's hard to get on their approach to things. I'm not going to fib because for me, it was difficult to get on their approach to things. But once you're on their approach to things, it's kind of nice. I thought they had an inaccuracy on a hedge violation. I emailed them and said, hey, that was a trade-of-eight thing on the trade-of-eight day, and that's not a me thing. They went in and fixed it. Every little thing that's happened for the most part, they've been on top of. So I'm really having a growing level of respect for them in ways that words cannot say. Let's see if I maintain the same level of favor when I send them this video and say, hey, please don't delete those 4 PA accounts. I'm trying to build up a multitude of accounts slowly but surely and taking the smart approach. Can you please offer a little grace? Here's what was happening. Here's what Trade-of-eight was doing. Here's what TradeSecure was doing. Here's what Ninja was doing. I couldn't get in and nothing was working. So y'all stuff wasn't working either. Hopefully that works. But if not, I will take my blows where they come and keep going and growing on my journey. That is my only mission. So my last few takeaways this week are the personal daily target saves most of my accounts. Like the ones that matter, it has saved me from the hedging violation because typically it knocks out before the other orders try to close. So if there is a swapping contract, those accounts don't get that swapping contract. So the lower I set that, the more easily it is to hit. And yes, it means I'm minimizing my upside. I get it. But it has saved me in so many ways that I just think there's a lot of intrinsic value that is dynamically just hugely worth discussing. So I'm a big advocate of that. Still struggling a little bit with the mid to whatever lot size, contract size, because let me pull this up real quick. I'm still struggling with this right here, kind of trying to find my best answer for me. And I'm not saying that everyone has to do this. I'm just kind of slowly but surely falling in love. Something I've been doing is kind of doing 1,500, well, 1 micro, 1 to 2 max, right? For every 1,500 in available drawdown. So that's kind of tricky because some of your 50K accounts technically have a daily loss limit of $1,000. Anyway, so this is what I'm kind of working on. I've been loving the larger accounts with Apex. I just think they're easier to hang on to. Sure, they're slower to get a payout, but I got to wait 8 days anyways. So, I mean, not that big of a deal. And I have to pay the PA fee anyway. So if I have to pay the PA fee, I may as well get a bigger account for it. But I don't know. That's my 2 cents. I am struggling with this mid-size because sizing too small means I'm not hitting my personal daily target quickly enough. You got to think on the 4,500. So let's assume that's 3 micros. 2 trades at about 50 points is $300, $600. So that's not going to hit my 800 1,000 or 1,500, depending on the size of the account target, is it? So I'm really stuck in kind of this messy middle area on some of the growing accounts. Obviously, the bigger accounts are doing just fine because I can size mid-size without taking on too much risk and know that I'm going to hit a $1,500 target like stupid easy, right? Stupid easy. We'll see. We'll see as time goes on. The personal daily targets that I'm considering are kind of here. They're kind of at, and this is on account balance. So that's on about 0.75 to 1% of the account balance. Now, granted, as you just saw with size, that looks like a pretty small amount, which means it's going to take you more than 5 days to pass. I'm also just a huge advocate for against passing in a day kind of concept. Not to say if it's going to rebuild, go at it, go ham, go do you. If it's going to rebuild, do you. But if it's not going to rebuild, your job is to prove you can keep the account. So let's stop trying to blow them and grow them in a day. All you're doing is giving yourself another $2,000 or $6,000 or $8,000 bill this month. That is not the goal. So that's my 2 cents on that, but we'll see where I land. This is still kind of a brain dump in progress. I'm using the 1 micro for every 1,500 in general. I'm a little cautious to kind of switch to minis because of the way mirroring works. I always seem to get a little bit tripped up there every time I try to make the copier software do that. Remember, at the level of accounts I have, my only goal is this. So figure even with an 80% accuracy rate, only keeping 85% of the payment, because figure some brokers take out 10 to 20% of the payment anyways. That is a lot, even with an 80% win day rate. That's after factoring for their fees, after factoring for their cuts, and after factoring for losses. And mind you, that's not that hard. So we've got a lot going on here. We'll see at the end of the day. If you guys have not already done so, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Please look out for a video for my January in review, which will be coming here in the next 5 days or so. It's going to be going over how I got paid with over 7 prop firms this month, kind of what that journey looks like. I'm debating on how much of the details I want to share. I kind of want to share all of them, but the other part is like hold the reveal for the end of the year and just say, hey, look, here's my ROI this month versus what I spent, what I made, right? Here's what I pulled out. And that's, again, after fees, after everything. This is what that looks like, or how I want to do it. But either way, I'm going to be going over that. All 7 prop firms, receipts included. I do have ROI per prop firm. And one of the rules that I'm kind of having for myself is if I have a negative ROI on that prop firm for the previous month, the following month, I am not allowed to max out on accounts. I'm allowed to have 1 to 2 accounts with that firm max until I am well in the green, because I don't want to be overpaying these firms, right? That's not the goal. And if that firm is being problematic, or if I am problematic for that firm, cool, we have such a good amount of them. So speaking of prop firms, please make sure you use code 6FTC. If you're buying Alpha, Apex, Take Profit Trader, Funded Next is a link. You'll have to check the link tree of the website. Lucid uses 6FTC. Blue Guardian, yeah. And that's kind of most of the ones that I'm most focused on right now. And the rest of the ones that I use are all in my link tree or on the website. So other than that, I have to at least mention this. It's definitely worthwhile. Here we go. The good, the bad, and the not so good, right? And the ugly. We've got quite a bit of stuff going on in our community. First off, none of it is perfect. We just had a crash, crazy, wild week. It's not going to be perfect. I wish I could get people to see that as part of the journey, but it's a process. We have launched our automated software. And in that automated software, this guy had a couple of manual. I just want to go to, I don't know where I posted them, and just going off of mine. So it took me a couple of days this week to get it posted. We had 1 day, so technically I've got 2 full trade days with the final version of pretty much Orb, if you guys think about it. Trading hands-free on prop firm accounts, right? That netted $500. And remember, I'm not outsizing here. I'm undersizing. That was Thursday. Friday, as you know, since it was a choppy day, I netted a positive 22. So did have some more losers there, just kind of got chopped around a lot. And then, of course, slightly more profit, so enough to cover fees, basically barely at all. The good, the bad, the ugly. I'm very excited about this. My only goal is to let this run for a while, pass the account, and see if I can get a payout with it. It is not looking for perfection. I figure at the end results, I'm probably going to see something around 60 to 70% accuracy achieved at the end of the month, which means you have to digest the losses, right? That's kind of going to go without saying. Also, since we're scaling out so quick, the R to R is probably going to hopefully be close to 1 to 1, hopefully be a 0.75 to 1 or better. And again, that sounds low, but it's still profitable at that win rate. I don't care about it low. I care about it not kind of knocking me out with like, any trailing drawdowns if I chose to use it on a firm that has that. So kind of excited there. He lost 22, 220. And then of course he had a great day too. We made like 6,000 on another day. I don't know which day it was. It's going to take a second. Don't know. Probably the best trading day I've ever seen. 6,000. Nope. It's here somewhere. Don't ask me where. Don't ask me. Oh, that was my day one. So technically I've had it running for 3 whole days. 2.5. So 6,600 copy trading 10 accounts. Again, not going to be perfect. You're going to come in. I would highly recommend we kind of set a personal daily target for sure, without a doubt. I would set the personal daily target, let the automation trade, and then kind of be flat on the day as soon as possible, knowing that you've made some bread, and then come back the next day. Some days are going to close out in a negative. It's kind of going to be part of it, but I want to see how this lands at the next 45 days. I will let you know. I'll keep you abreast in terms of the good, the bad, and the ugly. I do plan on failing along the way. And if I could just tell anybody, if this was my best friend, I would tell you failing is part of this plan. And if you can't accept that, you can't be part of the plan. Like, because trading is not easy. I started this video saying, why does it feel like trading futures is the only industry that you can have results like this, which I'm not tooting my own horn. This is reasonably impressive. Like if I could do this on my live money, I'm sure I could do the percentage gains on my live money pretty close to this. I have done this much percentage gains on live money, but it's obviously not $3 million that we're dealing with. So, I mean, take that with a grain of salt. I digress. This feels like failing all the time because there's so many things you run into. This was a whole Ninja Trader hell week in which I switched back over to Trade Sinker because I was just done. At this point, I had built up so many accounts. I lost so many on this day. I kept the bigger ones, but the rest of them were all gone. Had to rebuild again, which again takes time and money, let's be fair. This had an API limit, which is not Trade Sinker's fault. That is my fault and Tradeovate, because when you're trading a large amount of accounts and you're trying to use scale in or scale outs, the market's moving quickly, you're going to get an API limit. I've never actually had one like that froze my account. I literally had to call Tradeovate to get it unlocked. So it was the real one. It wasn't like a baby one. It was like the, hey, by the way, we're serious about this. So yeah, with all the things that go into this, it's hard. You have to plan on failing. And that's kind of my takeaway from playing with prop firms is I have to look at the failed accounts, whether they're from what I call gremlin behavior, which is part of it, whether it's from like that's a me issue, right? If I have the me issue part of it, if I have a tech glitch part of it, the market's being crazy part of it, poor performance on my part, or all the little things, okay, the tricky rules that you're kind of balancing between, no matter which reason it is, failing is going to be part of this journey. So that's something I'm kind of just accepting a little bit better than I ever had by working with these prop firms. I'm going to plan on failing my way up, knowing that when I look at it, there's only going to be a small amount of the accounts that I buy that actually get payouts, but one payout covers the cost of, 20 accounts, depending on which firm, 10 accounts, 20 accounts, or more accounts, depending on which firm and the size of the payout. So when you figure 18 payouts, I can't do that big math in my head right now, but that's the chance for a lot. So 18 payouts is 180 accounts, give or take, or more that you kind of purchase. So as long as you're purchasing less than that, you're still potentially in the green, although that's not my goal. Obviously, I would like to maintain these accounts, but I need to plan for the rate of failure that's going to go into this because I'm inevitably going to lose accounts. I lost accounts on these green days. I lost account on this green day, lost almost all the accounts except for a couple of the largest Apex accounts on these days. So it's a process, but we'll see. Thank you also for listening. It's enough of my rambling. I am just here to share this journey with you. Hopefully this video is helpful to you. If you have questions, comments, or things that you want to go over, by all means, drop it in the chat. My team or myself will be back in touch. Otherwise, if you haven't already done so, check out sixfiguretradingcoach.com. We've got a lot of things there. And I am going to be, again, as human as possible. None of it is going to be perfect. But if you're willing to take the step and the next step to kind of stick with something until you make it work for you, right? For where you're at, for your level of capital, for your level of experience, for your ability to kind of work with prop firms if you're doing the future side, or your level of personal cash if you're doing the personal side. There's so many things available to you. So I wish you all the best. I hope you have an incredible weekend. That is all I have for this happy Friday afternoon. I'm done. I'm literally going to clean out my computer, shut it all down, and come back again on Monday and kind of make a whole bunch more videos. A lot of cool stuff coming for you guys. Happy trading, happy weekend, and I will catch you next week. Bye, guys.